You're listening to Catholic Chicago. Ahead, the Archdiocese of Chicago brings you programs about the people, events, and issues that touch our lives. Thanks for letting us be part of your morning. Now again, Catholic Chicago.
Good morning, and welcome to the Voice of Charity. I'm Katie Bredemann, and we extend a warm hello to all who are listening on WNDZ 750 AM here in Chicago, and all who are watching our live stream on YouTube and Facebook at Catholic Chicago. As we continue to enjoy some fabulous summer weather here in Chicago, we're reminded of the legendary Catholic Charities Golf Tournament that takes place this time each year, raising critical funds for Catholic Charities programs and services in Lake County. This year, this very popular event is being held on Monday, July 18th. And with us today to tell us all about this extraordinary golf outing are one of the chairpersons, Matt Davis, along with Carla Gutierrez, Director of Catholic Charities Youth Counseling Department, and Daisy Gonzalez, the Program Director for CC Renews, one of our youth counseling programs. Welcome, Matt, Carla, and Daisy.
Thank you, Katie.
So delighted to have you all on the show today. Matt, may we start with you? Can you please share with us some of the details about the Catholic Charities Golf Classic on July 18th? Matt, we can't hear you. Is it possible you could just check your microphone? Our engineers are going to reach out and see if they can connect with you to hear about that. In the meantime, Carla, can we switch with you and just talk about
Sure.
the youth counseling programs and services in Lake County that this golf outing is going to benefit?
Yeah, absolutely. So in Lake County, we have CC Renews, which we'll talk about today. And we also provide services through our youth and family therapy services, which is overseen by my colleague, Ellen Tannenbaum.
And so
We have
So please go ahead.
Sorry, Carrie.
No, go ahead.
We have other programs in our youth counseling department, and they're all over Chicago. And of course, we also provide the services in Lake County.
And about how many youth do you serve across all Catholic Charities youth counseling programs, Carla? How many youth on an average per year?
Yeah, so to give you sort of an idea of how many we serve, our goal in CC Renews, which is brand new, was to serve 180 clients per year. And in our first year alone, we not only met this goal, but we exceeded it. We served over 200 clients, and that's not including our youth and therapy family services.
And so what are the age boundaries for those who are welcomed into CC Renews as participants?
That's one of the beauties of this program. We really can serve all ages, so children, youth, families. There's no age restriction.
And was one of the reasons to start CC Renews the fact that the pandemic hit everyone so hard, especially children of elementary age and high school, the young adult years? Is that part of the reason that you started CC Renews, Carla?
So I'm sure it had definitely to do with why the program started. But I think really, to answer that question, Katie, I think that it's a part of the big reason, and that being that these services are really essential in the communities we serve. I think that's absolutely a contributing factor. But I think, again, really looking at it from like that broad sense, these services are very much needed in our communities. And so we're really thankful that we're able to provide them.
And the community, people live with a lot of barriers to economic success and healthcare availability. Can you talk a little bit more about some of those barriers that the folks in Lake County are experiencing and coming to Catholic Charities expressing the concerns on their minds?
Yeah, I think we can spend the whole time talking about those barriers. But to just give a few, I think, access to healthcare, access to mental health, right, which is part of healthcare, access to reliable transportation and accessible transportation, childcare, basic needs as well. I used to work in the program, family self-sufficiency program. And so that was very much a part of what we found as well, right? So I think there's various things that we can all agree are very much needs that we see in our communities and in Lake County as well.
And that's the beauty of Catholic Charities' wide range of programs and services, because if people do come to us with some behavioral mental health concerns, but then you find out that they need assistance in other ways, you can recommend them to different departments to get that assistance for the most basic needs, right?
Absolutely. That's one of the beauties of Catholic Charities, right? We're so large and we're able to really extend our arm to another arm of Catholic Charities. So a lot of the clients that are coming into our services and we're seeing in person, if they need food, we can just walk them over to the food pantry, right? And introduce them to the food pantry coordinator. We're able to walk them over to our emergency assistance program. And again, it really allows us not only to connect the client, but really accompany them along this journey.
I know you're so skilled at that, Carla, and so knowledgeable about all the Catholic Charities can offer, that I'm sure you're quite a blessing in the lives of people who come to you for assistance. Daisy, if we could talk a little bit more in detail about the CC Renews program. Can you please share with us, Carla mentioned it, that it is a new program. Can you please share with us what the goals are of CC Renews?
Yes, of course. So like Carla mentioned, it is a new program that started March 1st of 2021. So we're a little over a year that we have started. The goal of the program is to provide mental health services and case management services to those individuals who have suffered more than one trauma in their life or has experienced more than one trauma in their life. Like Carla mentioned, we do focus on that mental health, but we also focus on what is their basic needs that they need to focus on in order to be able to work on their mental health. Sometimes it's like if they need food on their table, it's so hard for them to focus on their anxiety or depression because their priority is to put food on their table. So how can a case manager then work with them to find those community resources to put that food on their table, and then allow the therapist to really work with them one-on-one on that anxiety, depression, or whatever their mental health status is at the moment.
So can you help our audience? Pardon me, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say, can you help our audience better understand the intake process, Daisy? So someone comes to Catholic Charities or is referred to Catholic Charities, and then you speak with them to determine what their basic needs are, and then their behavioral health needs beyond that, correct?
Correct.
And so
we definitely,
please go
receive
ahead.
those calls and do that assessment during the moment that we receive that phone call. Do we have to focus on those immediate needs first and then focus on that mental health, or is it the mental health and then the basic needs? So we definitely, from the moment that we pick up the phone, we start assessing the client or the caller.
And so how are people referred to CC Renews? How have you let the community know that this program exists?
So we have our partnerships where we are out in the community. We do public awareness presentations. We attend a lot of community meetings such as the Latino Coalition, Response. So we have those partners who they know they can reach out to us and provide those direct referrals. Also schools, we're really trying really hard for the schools to know, for them to know who we are, because a lot of the times the children do present those behavioral problems in school, for example. So school social workers are the ones reaching out to us, providing those referrals. But our centralized intake line that anybody could access is our 312-655-7191 phone number.
That was going to be my next question. Can you please repeat that number for anyone listening or viewing today's show who might know someone who could benefit from CC Renews? Can you repeat that number for us?
Yes, of course. So the centralized intake phone number is 312-655-7191.
Wonderful. Thanks so much, Daisy. And then once you do help a client get more stabilized with basic needs, and you go back and help them addressing some of those behavioral services issues, that, mental health concerns that they're experiencing, can you explain in a little bit more detail about what some of the therapies are or some of the services are that help alleviate those mental health concerns?
Yes, of course. I think for every individual, because their experience is unique to their life and to their story, it's based on what's going to. We include the clients pretty much involve them in their treatment. So it's what they feel that it's going to also work for them. So for example, for kiddos, we may do a lot of play therapy or art therapy, even with youth, if they're really hands-on, like I mentioned, art or more of an art therapy. For adults, we're looking more of like different techniques. It's a meditation. So we really involve the client on their treatment and what they feel what feels comfortable to them that may work for them.
And probably each person's program is individualized and age appropriate, correct?
Correct.
And what type of recommendations do you make for teens, adolescents, and then those who are older teens?
Yeah, definitely. Those are, you have to really build that relationship with them. So I think at the beginning when working with them, it's building that relationship of trust in order to be able to develop some treatment plan that will work for them. So I think with them, the first stages is building that trust, especially with youth, that they're so like, why do I want to share what I'm going through with at the end of the day, they see us as strangers at the beginning, right? So it's building that relationship at the beginning stage of let me learn who you are, and then you learn who I am as a therapist as well.
Is there an average amount of time that you spend with a youth or your young adult in CC Renews, Daisy?
We our treatment plans are usually go for every 6 months. So every 6 months, it's something that we sit down with the youth and revise and say, okay, you indicated 6 months ago your goals was to. I'm going to give an example of decreased anxiety symptoms. This is where you are. How do you feel? Do we have, do you want to work a little bit more? So we look at what was their goals that they started with, where they have been at, and then, if there's still work to be done. So approximately, we revise that every 6 months. Usually youth are with us about a year or a little over a year, depending on those goals that they set for themselves that they want to work on.
Well, I can tell what a compassionate person you are, and what a blessing you must be in their lives to see you at the other end of the phone call or at the end of the table, just wanting to help them and see a brighter future for them ahead. It's really a wonderful program, Daisy, and Catholic Charities is blessed to have you as program director for that. If you'll please bear with us, we're going to take a break here on The Voice of Charity. And when we return, we're going to continue to talk about the 2022 Catholic Charities Golf Classic and the wonderful program CC Renews that is one of the programs that's going to benefit from the proceeds of this event. Please stay tuned.
Do you have an old bicycle that's not being used? Consider donating it to Catholic Charities Veterans Bike Project of Lake County. Skilled volunteers are refurbishing bicycles to make them safe and ready to be used by veterans to get to and from their new places of work. We also gratefully accept financial contributions that are used to purchase bike helmets and other safety accessories. Our veterans have faithfully served the United States, and now it is our privilege to serve them. For more information on the Veterans Bike Project of Lake County, call 847-782-4219. That's 847-782-4219.
This is year 44 for me teaching. When I started here, there were teachers here that had taught me when I was a student. Now I'm the old person. Right now, I teach junior high math. I love when kids find what I'm teaching to be fun and they get it. I see that light bulb go off and it's a thrill. People are always amazed. What? You're here for 44 years? It's hard for me to believe, frankly. I love what I do. Every summer I think, oh, I miss the classroom. Even on the weekends, I think I can't wait to get back on Monday and teach those quadratic equations.
Shape the next generation of leaders. Teach. Apply today at archchicago.org/schooljobs.
Catholic Charities has had the privilege of helping people in need in Cook and Lake County for more than 100 years. We would like to take this opportunity to thank our frontline workers who, despite the unprecedented challenges of the past 2 years, continue to excel at their jobs every day. From the warehouse staff members who pack boxes of nutritious foods for low-income seniors, to the dedicated WIC employees who have remained open for families with children under the age of 5, to our volunteers and restaurant partners who ensure that meals are available for those experiencing hunger, to our service coordinators and our professional counselors who continue their vital work in innovative ways, to our food pantry staff, and to all those who work at Catholic Charities Call Center, finding solutions for every person who reaches out to us for help. Charity is at the heart of all you do, and we salute you.
Welcome back to the Voice of Charity. I'm Katie Bredemann, and it's my great pleasure today to be here with Matt Davis, the co-chairman of the 2022 Catholic Charities Golf Classic Tournament that's coming up on July 18th. I'm also joined by Carla Gutierrez, Catholic Charities Department Director for Youth Counseling Programs, and Daisy Gonzalez, who is the Program Director for CC Renews, one of those youth counseling programs. And before the break, we were talking about what a great tournament this is. Matt, could you please kind of illuminate the details of this event this year on July 18th?
Absolutely, Katie. Can you hear me now?
Absolutely.
Oh, good. I'm so glad. Sorry we had a little technical snafu before.
No problem at all.
But anyway, thanks again so much for having me. So this year will mark our 28th annual Charities Golf Classic. It's hard to believe we've been doing this for almost 30 years. We hold it at two fantastic North Shore golf courses, at Shoreacres in Lake Bluff and at the Knollwood Club in Lake Forest. It's always proved to be a great day to gather with friends and family, work colleagues, clients, all in the effort to raise funds for Catholic Charities of Lake County. I'm almost glad I had a little bit of a technical snafu and you were able to talk to Daisy and Carla first, because that's really where the rubber meets the road, and that's why we do what we do, and why it's so important to raise the funds that this event raises, is to support the great work that Daisy, Carla, and all of their colleagues are doing on a daily basis.
We are so deeply grateful, Matt, to you and your family, and Tom Finnegan and John Brinkerhoff. You guys have been extraordinary in your dedication to this event year after year. It's one of the most, wonderful, sought-after golf tournaments in Chicago each summer. Can you tell us some of the challenging or fun things about Shoreacres and Knollwood that make it those courses so fun to play?
Well, they're two beautiful courses. Shoreacres just has a gorgeous layout. It's over a bunch of ravines right on Lake Michigan. Knollwood is a classic 1924 golf course. So they both look great, play great. I think people are always attracted to play there and enjoy the different types of events that we have. We'll have skills contests, games of chance. We've got a hole. If you get a hole in one, you'll win a car from one of our sponsors. We've got a great lunch to get the event started, and a great evening reception afterward to get everybody together.
And to be clear, Matt, all skill levels, all players of all skill levels are welcome, correct?
Absolutely. We welcome anybody. We run a what we call a Texas Scramble, and that allows everybody to tee off, and then you go to the best tee shot and play your ball in from there. And it keeps the pace of play going quite nicely. So even if you consider yourself a terrible golfer, I guarantee you'll have a good time out there.
That sounds like my kind of golf. And can some attendees come just for the dinner portion of the evening, Matt?
Absolutely, and many do. You may have golfers' families that come at the end of the evening, or anybody who can't take the day to join us on the golf course. They'll come meet with us for the reception afterwards.
And if anybody watching our show or listening would like to learn more about and register for the event, can you give them that contact information, Matt?
Sure. The easiest thing to do online, you go to CatholicCharities.net/events. Or you can call our event coordinator, Kathy Altanji, at 847-226-5697.
And after your many years of participating and leading this event, Matt, can you share what are your favorite parts of the day?
I think the first thing is the favorite part of my day is when you wake up and it's sunny. That's really the only thing that can go wrong is bad weather. And we've been so blessed these last few years to have a fantastic weather. I love watching everybody gather at the beginning of the event and check in and get ready to play. And then I really enjoy, frankly, the end of the evening when we get everybody back together for the reception and we award prizes and announce the winners for the various contests. And we get together and raise our paddles and really move the needle for Catholic Charities of Lake County.
It truly sounds like a wonderful day start to finish, Matt. I know that many community partners come together in support of Catholic Charities for this large event every summer. Would you like to take this opportunity to give a shout out to some of them?
Yeah, if you don't mind, and there's so many people to thank, and I apologize ahead of time for those that forget. But first, I just want to thank our partners at Catholic Charities and the people that are helping put this event together year in, year out. Again, I mentioned Kathy Altanji, who are our event coordinator, Melissa Merez Stambor, Marilee Lamatine. They've been just fantastic and supportive. People that have been involved year in, year out with their time and their treasure. Fred Marks at Classic Toyota, John Cortese, Sunset Foods, Bill Nugent at Napleton Foley Auto, Ed Waymer and Chris Baker at Wintrust, Mike Graham at Graham C Stores, and then one of my best friends, John Bender at Leland General. There's so many others, but these friends have helped year in, year out, and we couldn't do it without them.
And I know that all of the Catholic Charities staff, Matt, I'm quite sure if they were here, they would say it's quite easy to support you when you and John Brinkerhoff and Tom Finnegan and your families have been so generous to keep coming back each year and helping coordinate this event. I know that they would say it's easy to help you because they're so grateful for your generosity and support of the mission of Catholic Charities.
Well, it's kind of them saying we really enjoy doing it. We enjoy working together, and it's obviously they're helping so many people. So it feels like it's the least we could do.
It is vital work, and I'd like to just bring Carla and Daisy back in to the conversation a little bit too, and ask them if they wouldn't mind please sharing a story or two about clients who have come into CC Renews, our youth counseling program, and benefited from the services that are offered there. Daisy, may I start with you? If you could please, obviously respecting client privacy, but would you mind sharing a client success story or two?
Yes, of course. There's one specifically that does come into mind. It was a young youth, I want to say, preteen, came in with a lot of anxiety, and parents really didn't know what to do. They were like, she's showing a lot of behavioral issues at school because of the anxiety, doesn't want to attend school when everything went back to in person. So they were really having a difficult time. So this client or youth started working with the therapist and really tackling those anxiety symptoms of like, like really looking into like what are the reasons behind that anxiety of not wanting to be in school in person. So, a lot of self-affirmation work that they did. And so I want to say this client worked with the therapist about 7 months to be able to decrease her anxiety. And she was able to really readjust back to the school system in person, and was successfully closed from treatment not that long ago, after working with the therapist for about 7 months. So a little after their 6-month revision of like, this is the symptoms that I want to work on, I want to decrease. And they were able to successfully work on that. And she was able to really focus on her school. She did improve her grades. Parents did notice a lot of behavioral changes at home. Again, because they were no longer fighting about you need to be going to school, right? So it was really nice to see this youth transition from this anxiety of being at home for 2.5 years doing schoolwork virtually to transitioning back to in person and being able to academically be up to standard, good grades, and again being able to have a good relationship within the home. That I think her anxiety was affecting those relationships within the home of, with the siblings, with the parents, and all that. And a lot of psychoeducational, of course, to the parents, that when we work with youth or children, we also involve the parents or the family to ensure that, there's that understanding and education about what is the mental health that your child is going through, or what is that diagnosis that so many of us, we hear the word anxiety, for example, or depression, but do we really know the details or what it goes into that diagnosis? So that's one story that comes into mind, that recently we were able to successfully close a client from treatment with us.
That's a great story, Daisy, about how you were there at a very key time in her life to keep her in school and help her feel better about herself and the world around her. Very quickly, Carla, could you please share with us, for anybody watching or listening to the show who might be concerned about a young adult or youth that they know, what are some of the warning signs or signs that they should maybe take this seriously and reach out and call Catholic Charities for assistance? What are some of those signs to look out for?
Yeah, so I think that, behavioral health issues are deeply personal and unique to the person, right? So I think that these are not in any way restricting to what we all should keep an eye out. Of course, they're all good indications, but it could be different person to person. So really taking tune of what's going on. Some of the most common signs are youth becoming socially withdrawn from their loved ones, frequent temper outbursts during transitional times, signs of aggression when unable to really process or regulate emotions through verbal measures. And then youth may have more difficulties focusing on or being unable to really focus on, completing simple tasks. Often signs in youth who are experiencing behavioral health issues are more likely to be identified in school settings before the home setting. And really, again, this is why we highlight the community partners and how they play a huge role in really helping us sort of piece the information that we have.
That's so helpful, Carla. Thank you so much for being on the show today. Carla Gutierrez, Daisy Gonzalez, and Matt Davis. Thank you so much for the work you do, Daisy and Carla. And Matt, we thank you so much for your generosity to Catholic Charities. Once again, anybody who would like to go to that Catholic Charities Golf Classic on July 18th, please go to catholiccharities.net/events or call 847-226-5697. Again, thank you all for being here on the show today.
Thank you, Kate.